Welcome back to the homestead. Well, not the homestead. We're still in Florida. We're in Silver Spring State Park, if I spit that out correctly. We're actually on a loop trail to find a sinkhole, but the controlled burns made us stop and say, we should show you guys what they do here. And you can see that they do controlled burns of about 5-acre blocks, from what I can tell. They make these roads in the forest with tractors and plows and stuff as fire breaks, and they actually burn 5-acre plots at a time, as you see here. And it really controls the underbrush, the fuel for forest fires. Like when you watch these fires out in California, Colorado, those areas where they're just rolling through, all this stuff is fuel. So if you burn it every couple of years on a controlled pattern, you lose a lot of that fuel, and you actually rejuvenate some of the trees and stuff. There's certain species that require seed pods to get over a certain temperature to open and regrow. And kind of how nature designed it. Nature intended for forest fires, to control the forest, if you will, and rejuvenate things. And it's just kind of neat to see, you look at the palmettos here and how they, the fire killed off all the growth, but you see how it's already exploding back up with green. And you look out through there, it really does manage the forest, it seems like to me. I'm not a forestologer, or whatever they call those people, or a park ranger or anything like that. It just seems like, watching what they do here in this national park and state park, they really do control the forest, if you will. And you've seen our other video where we went out through the forest to look for alligators and saw the ponds and the roads and stuff, and you saw how open it was and how the trees are doing really well. And that seems to be what controls that, is those controlled burns, if you will. But that's about it. We may bring you back here and show you a little bit of the sinkhole when we get there. We're in the museum side of the Silver Spring State Park. The glass bottom boat portion is down the road a ways. There's, I think, 5 different trails you can hike in here. It's like $8 to get in with your vehicle if you don't have a park pass, and you have all day here to see everything. There is a big museum here that maybe we'll show you some on the way out. It's only open to the public on the weekends, I believe, because they reserve it for the school during the week. The school students get to, use it or whatever. But we'll see if we can't show you some of that. We just kind of want to bring you along and show you. It's kind of neat how this is a good example of, them burning up the fuel and stuff coming back, and just the openness of the forest, how it does control that. And I think they do, I'm not sure if the 5-acre blocks are just because that's what they can physically manage, or if it's got something to do with wildlife, but they don't burn like blocks right beside each other. Like if you look at their maps, they burn blotches all over the Ocala forest in different areas, different years. And I think that's specifically so that, the wildlife can just step aside 5 acres and then come back. And I can tell you from being here this morning, this is fairly recently burned, and the wildlife is already back in here. So it doesn't seem to bother them. I don't know. Again, not a wildlifeologist either. So we'll wrap this up. We'll head on up this trail. Sue can spin around and show you. Trails are all really well marked here. This is a really nice trail, really wide. So we're going to wrap this up. We'll bring you back when we get up to the sinkhole. How's that? So hang on. We'll be right back.
Just bringing you guys back for another quick look at some of the controlled burn stuff. So these are long needle pines, and they look kind of like they're dead, but if you zoom in, you can see there's little green buds all over these trees. And that's because during the burn, these trees got scorched enough to basically take the needles off. But now they're coming back, they're rejuvenated, and they're going to have a whole new season of needles, and they're much less of a fire hazard.
We haven't found a sinkhole yet, but we're on the fire break road here, going to the sinkhole. And we just wanted to show you a little bit. Like, this is where they've done a control burn this season. And then if you look to your right, this is what it looked like before they did the controlled burn. So this will be on the docket probably for another year or later this season or something. But that shows you the difference, from one side of the road to the other. And you can pan around and see it behind yourselves as well. If you keep going to the right. See just how much of that undergrowth gets cleaned up when they do that. We found the sinkhole. I'm not sure we can get any closer to this. We've walked about halfway around it. I mean, we obviously could walk down there to it, but yeah, just something to see. You can kind of see out there where it all settled down. And it tends to be a lot wetter in there, so you get more tropical growth, not necessarily like hardwood trees and stuff. Also, we found, we're not 100% sure, but the whole area out here for the last probably quarter of a mile is almost like rototilled. We're assuming it's an animal of some form, we just don't know which one. But anyways, kind of cool. We're going to wander up here and we're going to check out this signage for the sinkhole. So we'll bring you up there. We just wanted you to see this view. Let's head on up to the sign.
We made it to the sign, and it is actually just a map of all the trails, but it's kind of cool. You can see this is where we are right now, and we started over here at the parking area, came up around through here, down here, and all the way to here. So we just have about a third of our hike left, and then we'll be back to the truck where we started.
But it's worth pointing out that you have a couple ways to get in here. So this is what we call baseline, or Highway 35. This is 40 that runs east-west. And there's a couple different entrances. You have the equestrian entrance, you have the entrance over here at the ranger station, and then you have one down in here somewhere that I don't really show real well. I guess it's probably in here. Yeah, they don't show the one real well that goes down into where the glass bottom boats are, but it's down in here.
It's this one because there's the paddle trail that we took earlier in the season.
So it's up in here. When you get up in here, there's a trail you can do to see like the monkeys and stuff like that. But you can also jump on this blue trail and come down here to the yellow trail and get to the other side of the ranger station. And the only reason I mention that is if your only goal is to come out today and put miles on your feet or miles on your bike, it's $2 a person to go through this gate on foot to the trail. Whereas if you drive in here, it's $8 a vehicle. So if you're alone, you know, and you're just going to take your bike and you're going to go out and put on 12, 15 miles on these trails, if you come in here, it's a little cheaper, I guess. So, but there's a lot more stuff to do in here. You're going to get the museum, you're going to get, you know, big picnic area, a whole lot of different trails. But if you come in here, you can also, for $2, you can walk around and see the monkeys and everything else. So it's all on what you do, and you can get a yearly park pass too. But we're probably gonna, actually, this is a pretty good spot right here. I don't think they really want you off the trail.
I saved you from malaria.
Cool, thank you. I don't think they really want you off the trail, but you could see, you could walk down to the sinkhole. You can see the water in it down here. We're not going to walk down there because we've seen enough water and alligators and stuff in Florida that, you know, we're not going to bother nature and go down there. We're going to head on out this trail and go back and finish our 2.5 mile hike. If we see anything interesting at the museum, maybe we'll just do a quick little short video on that too and make that a separate whole video. But anyways, we appreciate you guys taking a little bit of time out of your day and listening to me ramble about the forest and the fires and the sinkholes and everything else. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.